But second to last, we're gonna talk about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yay!
So I've discovered that I don't know if it's a very specific writer at GameSpot, but GameSpot apparently they just like spoiling stuff in their reviews. So it weren't spoilers that I care about because, like I said, I'm not like they weren't major spoilers, but they were some like spoilers that people didn't necessarily want to know. Like they straight up like other reviews that I watched before GameSpot specifically went out of their way to talk about it but not show it. But GameSpot talked about certain things and showed them in their review, and I was like, okay, you're lucky I don't care. But now I'm in the mindset of like, okay, now I know that GameSpot is a review channel that I'm only going to watch when I don't care about small spoilers
Right.
for a game. Because I am now aware after Jedi Survivor and now Tears of the Kingdom that they just spoil stuff in their reviews. I need to find out if Tears of the Kingdom and Jedi Survivor had the same reviewer or something like that because it would make sense if they did because they came out pretty close to each other. Now I wouldn't imagine a reviewer has enough time to review both of those games at the same time because they're both pretty big. But either way, it's like, come on. uh, they straight up show the dungeons
Ah,
in the
gross.
review and name the dungeons and talk about what's happening in the dungeons. I'm like, I don't care. Like that's not a big spoiler for me, but for other people, that's huge. Like everybody knew there were going to be some type of dungeons because as much as people complain about it, the divine beasts were technically dungeons. So and we knew for a fact that at least something like that was going to be in the game. So that's not a spoiler, but actually showing it and going into detail about some of the stuff you have to do in them was way too much for some
Yeah,
for people who care about that type of stuff. And they
you can just
also
walk
once
through.
yeah, they once again really get into the weeds of the story, but not so much so that I was up. Like I said, it wasn't a level of spoilers that I was upset with, but it would have been a level of spoilers I would have been upset with if this was a game I wanted to go in completely spoiler free. It like I don't know, it was weird, but just talking about the surface level stuff that we've been seeing in Tears of the Kingdom on like Twitter and stuff. Uh, so in a lot of the trailers and review footage and like previews, I don't know if you noticed it, but there were like constructs that were all green instead of like being their usual color, like the color of wood, and then like the wheels, which are usually like black and green and yellow. Have you
I did
noticed that?
know.
And some of them
I
are
did.
like all green. I found out why.
Oh,
So I talked about that ability before, how you can save certain like builds that you made, so that you don't have to try and remember how you made them before and like recreate them. You can actually just like go into the menu and if you have the parts, build it, have it auto build itself.
mm.
So you can also do that without actually having the parts. And
Oh,
instead, it uses this new resource called Zonite and makes it out of that. And that's why you'll see certain constructs that are all green because they're made out of Zonite and they are made from scratch and aren't made out of the actual like resources.
that's cool.
So if you have enough Zonite, you can still like make these different types of things, even if you don't have like a wooden plank or wheels or fans or whatever around you.
Hmm,
So yeah, that's cool.
that is
I
really
wonder
cool.
if you could cheese that and connect a cooking pot to something, and then that way, like, because the cooking pots in this game are now one use, so that way you can
Right.
kind of like make cooking pots out of Zonite. That way you don't have to always have to get one from like one of those like gumball machines. I feel like that might be a way to cheese that so that you always have a cooking pot. You can just make them out of Zonite. You add them to like some type of build and then like recreate it whenever you need it.
Right.
I'm gonna try that when I play it. If people don't already do it, and I don't find out it's possible before that. Um,
That-
but yeah, this game just looks so good. I've seen, like you said before, you've seen a bunch of weird stuff. You want to repeat what you said earlier?
Okay, so it's been what, 3 days since Tears of the Kingdom came out?
Just about.
Probably. Yeah, 3 days. I have seen a tank, a Trojan horse, an entire fighter jet, like a straight up a fighter jet. Um, what else? They're making contraptions to like launch Koroks all about the place. It's insane. Also, a speedrunner has already beat the game in I think 29 minutes. Is the world record right
29. I
now?
saw 96.
Something like that.
But yeah,
Googling it.
yeah, it is confirmed that once you reach a certain point, you can like go straight to Ganon and just fight him.
Yep, 29 or 94 minutes.
And I'm I don't know how I'm avoiding it, but I'm like haven't seen a video pop in my timeline that's just the Ganon boss fight because I don't want to see it.
Same. I haven't seen any like gameplay other than people's weird contraptions, and I would like to keep it that way.
Yeah, I haven't seen any gameplay beyond the opening Sky Island where essentially you do the tutorial.
I haven't even seen that, which is surprising.
But yeah, but I'm probably about to start moving beyond that and watch people play, you know, after that. But yeah, I don't wanna have that Ganon boss fight spoiled for me until I get to a point where I'm watching somebody, get towards the end. But I hear that
Right.
the story's real good and it's told in a similar way to Breath of the Wild, where it's like you have to find these what do they call them, memories? I don't know if they call them memories in this game, but it's essentially just like that. But that the story is much more just fleshed out and fun. And people say that there's some stuff that happened in this games that means that they're gonna have to like revise the like lore books or whatever. Or is it the Zelda
There's
encyclopedias? So I've
oh
been hearing that yeah, some wild stuff is happening that's gonna need some revisions. I feel like what we talked about before that they will actually be resetting the timeline so that they can actually try and make a cohesive timeline.
yeah, because to be honest, Hyrule Historia is what it's called. Has been due for like an update or a redo for years now. Honestly, so honestly, I believe.
Because they go out of way to call this the end of the timeline, and you would only do that if you were gonna reboot.
Right.
So it would make sense that they do something here that starts it all over again, so that they actually make a timeline that makes sense. And it doesn't mean that they won't still, have like branching timelines. It just means that they'll do it in a way that is purposeful this time, rather than not caring about that before and then after the fact going, you know what, let's make it all connect somehow.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But
Yeah.